Hi, Peter.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me and see me. My computer has taken this exact moment to have a little bit of a brain fart here. Everything's frozen. My screens are flashing off and on. I can't see a thing. So, hopefully, we're all good. John, are you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So it's still broadcasting, no matter what weirdness it's doing. That
Well, this is a horrible outcome. I'm the only thing on the YouTube show right now, and I don't like seeing my face out there, but here we are.
Okay. Uh-oh. Does that mean that my
Oh,
camera is gone? Hold on.
at the moment, we're now looking at the gap up, gap down list. Just looking over this, I see a couple familiar faces on the gap ups. We have Fun. Remember Fun, Peter? Phun.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, I recall it being kind of fun. What was Fun? Something Chinese, perhaps? Funware. Don't
Yeah.
know. That's the name of it. DJT, Donald J. Trump's thingamajig, is on the gap up 11% this morning. And Wolf. Do you remember our ticker name Wolf? WOLF.
I remember, yeah, I don't remember what they did. I do remember
Yeah,
it
me
coming
neither.
up.
Wolf Speed. So those are some of the names. Oh, Charles Schwab is up 8.5%. Did they put new fees on us or something?
Probably. All right.
Yeah, probably did.
Why is my
And on the gap
camera
down
not
side,
working? All right. We'll go without a camera, and then I'm going to have to reconnect to, I'm not sure what happened here, but had a moment. My computer seems to be feeling about the same way I am, which is not good because we had this weekend. I had family events. It's Thanksgiving in Canada, and we had what we lovingly call the Chardonnay Cup. And the Chardonnay Cup is a ping pong tournament that my brother-in-law, who's on the left there, hosts, and my daughter, who's on the right, actually won it again this year, second time in a row. So she gets her name on the cup. So that was a good event. The only problem was his son, so my nephew, not feeling well at the event. And we tried to isolate him, but apparently not enough because my wife was feeling really bad yesterday. And today I feel absolutely horrible. I actually woke myself up sneezing. Who sneezes in their sleep? I've never had that before. I actually woke myself up by sneezing. That was just weird.
I didn't know that was possible.
I didn't know that either. So, anyways, so fortunately, none of this is transmittable over, over the microphone, over the web. So,
I love the trophy, Peter. It's no surprise you were the type of dad that goes out and buys the actual Chardonnay cup to make sure that the event is that much more official. Love it.
I got to give credit to that to my brother-in-law David. He did that. He bought the cup.
You
But
did
yeah,
that?
that's
Okay.
he actually has a cup. It's engraved. You get a little plaque with your name engraved on it every year. So it's a whole thing. It's it's got to make it real. So anyways, did we have we had a whole presentation of the cup and that you can see. Anyways, it was a good event, except for the fact that I ended up with the flu at the end of it. So
I like it.
Anyways. All right, enough of that. Okay, let's talk stocks. Yeah, we got a lots going on this morning. We had some stuff on the economic calendar this morning that I was looking at. Not that busy, frankly, but interesting. The New York State, the what's called the Empire State Manufacturing Index came out, and it was expected to show. This is all a relative scale, and these types of indices usually. It was expected to show a 3.4 point growth. Last month, it had an 11.5 point growth, but it came out this morning and it had an negative 11.9 points. So that's like a massive, underperformance and quite unexpected. So I don't see the market really reacting to this, but it's interesting to me that apparently Empire State Manufacturing had a huge contraction in the last month, which shows continued weakening in the U.S. economic position. Now, later this week, we do have a few more, I'll say, more interesting events coming up with retail sales and housing starts coming up on Thursday and Friday. That's about it for the rest of this week. But I'm hoping that they will sort of give us a picture of the economy that'll be more informative, because the little anecdotal ones that we're seeing, or the smaller ones, seem to be showing that the U.S. economy is starting to shrink, which I guess is good for interest rates, right? We want that because that means they could lower interest rates, because that would mean that inflation is not continuing on its rapid pace that it's been on for the last couple of years. But obviously it's never actually good for an economy overall if it really starts to shrink significantly. So we'll have to watch it together. We'll see what it means for the markets, which is what we really care about. That being said, the markets, my God, the SPY, another good day yesterday overall, with the SPY once again setting new all-time highs, moving higher. The Qs not quite at all-time highs, but still, pushing higher. So overall, we've got a little bit of movement here to the upward direction. And we start with a few more earnings today. So I've got a whole bunch of earnings on deck that we can take a look at. We talked about this yesterday. A lot of banks and healthcare this morning. And then this afternoon, we're going to have some airlines, a couple random like retail and manufacturing, and then we get into the semiconductors and some of the tech stocks later this week. So all of that will be in play that we can have a talk about. I love seeing like Thursday WD-40. Again, still a crazy company that I can't believe is still independent, but there it is. We'll talk about all of these as they come up over the course of the week. But today it's banks and healthcare is what we're going to be talking about this morning. Let's start with the gappers, though. We'll look and see what's up on the gappers. We got a bunch of random stuff. John, you mentioned a couple of them. Maybe we can start with, I was looking at this earlier. One of the big movers of this morning is Bonsai International, BNZI or ZI, which had been moving earlier this morning. It's, I think I looked it up. I think it's a low float. Is it? A low float? And is there news?
BNZI. BNZI has a float of 600,000 shares and a short float of 21%. So this thing's potentially really nutty. Am I coming through, Peter?
Peter, can you hear us?
Oh, I'm here. Okay. I wasn't hearing any noise. I'm back.
We lost you, Peter. Last topic of discussion was BNZI float, which is 600,000 shares and 21% short float.
All right. Need to reconnect, get the camera back in. We're here. Okay. I'm looking at it's moving okay. The volume is good at 6 million shares traded so far this morning. Being a low float, I don't love it for that. I don't know. I mean, if you guys like it, if you're trading low floats, it's definitely up on the list. It's the biggest gainer this morning out there in the markets, up 49%. So you can take a look at it if you want, but I will probably be moving past it. You mentioned Wolf a minute ago, one of the smaller or lesser looked at semiconductor companies, WOLF. Let's take a look at that one quickly. Is this an earnings play? Why is it on our list this morning?
I believe it's on the list because they have secured a new financing. Just woke up. Secured new financing and could get even more funding from the U.S. CHIPS Act. More money.
Mo money. Mo money. Okay. 1.5 billion worth of Mo money. So I guess that's what's got them moving. Makes sense. 7 million shares traded. It's a nicey stock. Again, price action actually looks okay this morning. I can see a couple of minutes in here. Let's go to a 1 minute chart, see what it actually looks like. It's not bad. They're around 7:30. I was seeing price action I didn't like, but it looks better now. Maybe Wolf is something to watch. I mean, we have lots of earnings to pay attention to, so I'll put it down here. We'll see what it does on a daily chart. Where are we sitting? Oh yeah, it's been down a lot. So this is maybe some needed influx of cash. It's got lots of room to the top side, of course, because it's moved so far down. So yeah, maybe Wolf would be a decent play. We'll leave it here. The other one you mentioned, Fun. I bet you we're saying it wrong, right? It's probably like Foonware or Foon. I don't
Could
know.
be Foonware.
Anyways,
Yeah.
PHUN.
Yeah. So PHUN. The only reason I think it's connected to the DJT stock.
That's
I believe-
right. I forgot that. Yeah.
I forget the relationship, but that's moving this morning as well. And I honestly just think it's the from what I can gather from the news or lack thereof, it's just the election getting a little more spicy here, kind of coming to a close. Maybe we're gelling a little better on who's going to win, and maybe some of the stuff is starting to move, but not exactly sure.
Yeah, DJT. What's it? DJT has actually been moving up the last couple of weeks. The month of October, it's been gaining. Anyways, all right. It's been gaining the last couple of weeks, so I really haven't watched it during the market hours. Usually I find that it just doesn't give me the trading that I'm looking for. Let's see, what did it do yesterday? Of course, yesterday may not be a good day with the bond markets closed. Everything was moving a little bit, different yesterday. Yeah, I mean, look at the morning. Clearly, it had an initial move and then a whole lot of nothing before going up in the afternoon. So DJT, I mean, you do have to, you have to pick your spots, right? It seems like it could be tradable, but you got to be pretty dedicated to watching it all day, because otherwise you're going to miss the opportunity it'll give you. So, anyways, DJT and PHUN. Yeah, I guess if you're going to pick one of the two, DJT is probably the better buy, the better watch. So we'll leave it at that. DJT, if you want it, I'll put it down here so I remember we can set some levels and see what we can do with it. PIXY is the next one that I see on my list. Good old Shift Pixie. This looks horrible so far this morning.
I got nothing on that one. There's a lot of them on here that aren't really coming up with any obvious news, and I don't see any for Pixie. So I will leave it to the room or the YouTube geniuses out there to let us know if I'm missing something. But I don't see anything.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to skip over a bunch of them here that just don't are not going to be moving and not good. I see Ericsson on our list. Ericsson, I mean, it's a big stock and obviously a big company, but it really does not trade well. I've never seen it trade well. Look at all these tiny little candles. Interesting gap up this morning. Looks like there was, I mean, this is dual traded, by the way, so it's going to move based on what it does in the European markets. So it looks like there was some news here with
it says Ericsson shares surging early on Tuesday. The Swedish telecom equipment company looks to be reaping the benefit of higher spending by U.S. customers, such as AT&T. That seems like a pretty vague statement to move on. How much is it gapped up?
9%. That's pretty big for Ericsson.
Yeah.
Digging into that article, it looks like their North American sales unit was up 80% in the quarter. So that's pretty big. You've got to keep in mind this is a $23 billion company with a 3 billion share float. So to move at 9% is not nothing. But again, it doesn't mean that it's going to be intraday tradable. I mean, that is on only 400,000 shares here so far this morning. And look at this price action, right? Virtually non-existent. So, interesting news on it, but I don't think it's going to be one of our top tradable stocks. So let's go to stuff that we can trade because I want to get to the U.S. banks. We'll start with Schwab, and Schwab is probably up the most of all of these. It was up 9% a little earlier. It's up 8.5% right now, and they're one of the many that had earnings this morning.
Oh yeah, they did. Let's take a look. Old Schwab, as Thor used to call it. So it looks like they beat reported earnings of 77 cents per share. The expectation 75 cents. Revenue 4.85 bill versus 4.76 billion. It's a beat and a beat on the two basic indicators, and I don't know what they might have said about growth or anything like that, but things seem rosy for Charles Schwab.
Yeah, and I've never. I don't know that I've ever traded this. We were talking about this yesterday. How a lot of the brokerages, it's always somewhat ironic that they don't trade all that well. IBKR, Robinhood, and Schwab are probably Schwab's probably the best of them. I guess they're a pseudo bank and brokerage. I guess they're a bank.
I think so.
Can you bank with
Kinda.
Schwab? Or do they just do private investment stuff? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I know them for their like little storefront dudes that try and hawk their mutual funds at you.
Yes, they offer banking services through their banking subsidiary, Charles Schwab Bank SSB.
Okay, so there you go. So they actually have a bank. So all right. Well, anyways, so in the banking sector this morning, Schwab is the one little odd one, but then we have Bank of America, Citigroup, and Goldman Sachs, which were the big three, I guess, that I was really looking at this morning. Let's take a look through them in sequence. All the similar story because I know they all had earnings and they all beat their numbers, top and bottom line. So. I didn't really see much to distinguish them. If I look, Bank of America is up about 1.5%. Citigroup is up 2%, and Goldman Sachs here this morning up 2.8%. So, other than that, John, any other uniqueness to any of their stories worth talking about?
I just pulled up Citi just to take a look. It's kind of weird so their revenue is 43 billion roughly. And allegedly, the expectation was about 20 billion. I mean, to more than double revenue, usually the revenue is pretty close on the expectation. That's kind of interesting. So, kind of wonder why they made so much money and why no one was kind of getting ready for that. Let's see.
They're always making money. It doesn't seem to matter the state of the economy. The only question is how much money they're making. And it looks like they made more than they had even anticipated in this.
It's very true. Yeah, the banks aren't the most exciting stocks to own, but darn it if they don't always make some money. It's incredible. But their profit fell 9% in the third quarter. I suck at deciphering any of this, Peter. This is your wheelhouse.
All right, they made money. They made lots more money. If you're banking with any one of them, congratulations on donating into the bank fund. So,
so revenue beat by a hell of a lot, but profit missed. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't really have any uniqueness to any of the story here. Somebody's asking that we check Wells Fargo. What are they doing this morning? Wells Fargo is up 1%. I don't think they had earnings today, though. At least they weren't on my.
They reported on Friday, I believe, or Monday morning.
Right.
Probably Friday. Let's see who else had earnings this morning. Schwab, Johnson & Johnson, Bank of America, Citi, United Health, Walgreens, State Street, Goldman Sachs.
We can go to those because that's the other group that I had. Walgreens or Walgreen Boots Alliance, WBA, Johnson & Johnson, and United Healthcare. So that's the other trio that I was looking at in the healthcare sector this time. And once again, I mean, it seems to be a good morning for having earnings. Everybody sort of beat top and bottom line. I didn't see any exceptions to that. So the most interesting story seemed to be out of United Health. Where they beat, but they actually lowered their guidance. So they're the one that's red out of this whole group. Everybody else is green, but because they lowered their guidance, looks like they had problems in South America with their South American operations and some big cyber attack that cost them a bunch of money. I wonder if that means, is it just like the cost of remediating it, or what, or did they actually pay a ransom? Anyways, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but.
Or your cybersecurity company comes asking for more. If we only had more money, we could have stopped this in the first place.
I don't think they were part of the whole the earlier problems that we had with. Why is my head's all fuzzy? What was the company that took down the airlines that Delta was really angry with?
CrowdStrike.
Crowd. Yes, thank you. I don't think they were in that whole thing, were they? Because that wasn't a cyber attack. That was just an upgrading problem, right? They had a bad bad push out to their servers. So, but anyways, so I don't think that was what caused it. It must be some separate cyber attack. It was with one of their healthcare groups. It's funny how, anyways, I don't know these groups in the U.S., but maybe they're common names. But they were citing that they had problem Change Healthcare, and the headline was really confusing because I didn't realize Change was a company name. They just said, profit guidance is Change Healthcare cyber attack, and I'm like, I don't understand. I understand each of those words, but in combination, it was confusing me. So, anyways, but apparently this group, Change Healthcare, had a big cyber attack. So, anyways, if you want to trade these, I would say just be cautious on them. Wait until after the open, right? These United Healthcare. Let me just make sure. I think they're all three of them. Johnson & Johnson, yep, and WBA. No, WBA trades on the NASDAQ, but Johnson & Johnson and United Healthcare trade on the New York Stock Exchange. And these are ones I've told you many times, but I'll keep reminding because it's important that when the market opens, if you don't see the volume, don't jump in. They will start to move aggressively only when the volume hits, and you'll know. Because you might get the first couple of minutes where you get, I don't know, like 50,000 shares or maybe even less that are trading. But when the volume hits, it'll be 500,000, 1 million shares. Like it's a big candle compared to what else is happening. Again, you'll know when it happens. Resist the temptation to jump in early on these things because you want to catch the move. Because sometimes the direction of the move can surprise you, right? So be careful. That's my, I've repeated guidance, I guess, on these. I've traded. I don't shy away from trading them, but I always wait for that moment because I've been caught the other way, right? Where you jump in early and it's moving very slowly in a direction, and suddenly the volume hits and it gets this massive spike against you. Yeah, that can be very, very painful. So I've learned it the hard way. And Dan's asking, so why the delay? Good question. It's basically just the way the markets are managed, right? You have to keep in mind the New York Stock Exchange is sort of the original U.S. exchange, and they still have a more, I'll say a more manual process. The market makers, as they're called, the people that control the majority of the stock and have the responsibility of keeping smooth, keeping the market active, I guess, right? Making sure that there's always a seller for every buyer and a buyer for every seller. There's fewer of them on each of the stock, usually 1 to 3. As opposed to the NASDAQ, where you can have dozens, right, that are active in that, which keeps a more active market. So because of that, it is quite literally often it's when that market maker chooses to exercise their volume, right? They have a bunch of orders. They might be trying to set up some deals or some background, or they're just waiting for a good opportunity. I can't tell you why, but it's basically when they choose to push the button and hit the market, that's when you see the volume hit. So the thank you, Alistair. That's what I was trying to say. The efficient operation of the market. Yes, that's what their responsibility is, which means, sometimes they have to take the other side of a trade, even if they don't want to ensure the efficient operation. It tends to be a little more seamless on the NASDAQ side, just from the way it appears in the price action. I'm sure a NYSE expert out here will argue that their market is just as efficient as any others. But all I can tell you is, you got to wait for that volume. Whereas NASDAQ, it's always right at the open, right? The biggest candle of the day is almost always the 9:30 candle, not so on the New York Stock Exchange. So it's just the way the markets work, right? Don't let it worry you too much, but know, because that's the case, the NYSE stocks can often get, unexpected moves in volume too, when those types of orders get put in, again, in a less automated fashion than you often get in NASDAQ stocks. So a lot of the tech stocks, you'll notice, are almost all on the NASDAQ, because that's where they started, right? It was actually originated as a fully electronic tech-based market. And, it was companies that were, tech-based that started there, that they were catering to. Like Microsoft, I think, was one of the first that was out there and had been on that market forever. And at a point in time, of course, they were the biggest, but long since been taken over by companies like Google, and of course all of our semiconductors that we love so much trade on the NASDAQ, as do the Teslas and others. So, anyways, all right. That's a little bit of market background. Let's get back to the stuff that's moving. So I was really focused on this, the move up. So I said everything is moving up. We talked about, except for United Healthcare, which is actually moving down. The only one on the gap up that it was interesting to see this morning was American Airlines. I was a little surprised to see them there, and I didn't have a chance to look up to see what the news was. So I why are they gapping? I can't answer that question. Hopefully, John, you can help me with that.
Let's take a peeksy poo. No, I don't see anything. Aren't the airlines moving a little better lately, though, Peter? I've heard people mentioning them to trade, and it's been a while since I thought anyone cared. So I was wondering if they're just kind of travel stocks maybe coming back alive.
I haven't been watching them really, but you're right. I mean, they have been occasionally part of the conversation here. So I can't say that they're not moving, but they haven't given any, such movement that I've said I actually have to watch these and I must get into them. So, yeah, I don't see the news either this morning. I'm not sure why American Airlines is moving when the others are not, but it does seem to be. It's up 2.6%, so just enough to make our list with just over 500,000 shares traded. So, all right, we'll leave it as a mystery.
It is. Yep, remains mysterious. Don't know why.
All right, let's go to our gap down list and see what we got there. Or I should ask you, John, anything that you've got that you're watching?
Oh, I should say the theory on YouTube, which could be good, is that oil prices are down, airlines are going up. So it could be a reaction to some of the sentiment out there for energy. So yeah, we'll see. And David Ball from YouTube brings, I don't know, I haven't heard this officially, but they might be getting the vibe that Israel's not going to bomb Iranian oil sites, which would cause that would cause a ruckus, no doubt about it. So if that doesn't look like it's going to happen, I would suspect oil is going to react positively. Prices go down, perhaps airlines go up. It's a good theory. I'm sorry, Peter. You asked me, am I looking at anything this morning? Tesla and Nvidia, probably, based on how things traded yesterday. I don't see anything on the gappers that's really pulling in my interest here. Yeah, it probably sounds pretty dull. I know, because we're going to see that. We're going to see Tesla and Nvidia a lot, I think, on the moderator list this morning. But that's what I'm looking
at. Has John gotten all choppy just for me, or?
I think it's just for you. He sounds fine on my end.
Okay. That's weird. What's happening? Oh my god, my computer is truly feeling as bad as I am. Okay. It's all right. I didn't really hear anything that you said, but I'm sure it was very insightful. So
Nope.
All right. Let's talk. Let's go through this gap list and see what we got on the gap down. Then BP. BP, I see here, British Petroleum gapping down this morning. Now, you just mentioned, I did hear before it went all weird on me that oil prices are potentially moving down, and that maybe the oil refineries are not going to be bombed. So, wouldn't that be a good thing? Why is BP gapping down then? Oh, John.
Oh yeah, well, I have no idea, Peter. I don't know. I can't find any news on BP either. So
Okay.
not a clue. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, we have airlines and oil companies moving around. We just don't know. There's something about liquid natural gas stocks. Some positivity in that commodity. But I don't know. Not sure.
I'm not really seeing any news on BP either. Again, with I guess maybe as a producer, with oil prices dropping, that could affect their revenue, but it doesn't seem to warrant a 4% move. Again, BP is one of these big stocks that's dual market traded. So if they're going down, you know that they've had an unequal move. On the presumably the British exchange. I assume that's where they're traded. So. Anyways, all right. So BP, usually not a great trader. You can see, look at how gappy it is on the daily chart that I've got up here. Intraday, if we go to a 1 minute, you can see like it really is not trading good volume. So I don't expect much out of it. I see on the list here. Well, United Health we already talked about. So it's on our gap down list, and we already talked about the earnings and the problems there. So. Good earnings, but again, calling off their guidance is going to get them moving down. I'm probably keep an eye on this later just to see what they do. A lot of the stuff on here, they're not good tickers. So Halliburton, another oil company I see gapping down. Occidental Petroleum, Oxy, gapping down this morning. Freeport McMoran, FXC also. So all the oil producers seem to be gapping down, so I would have to assume it's related to the oil prices. So thank you to our friends on YouTube helping us understand that this morning. And what else have I got on this list that I actually want to talk about? Not much. I don't love this list, to be honest. Up at the top of the list, I've got MRUS. What is this? Maris? Oh, Nevada. Yep. Nope. Don't like it. See, I was going through a bunch of these earlier, and I'm like, oh my god, they are all horrible. So, all right. Oh man, the semiconductor sector is one that I can talk about. Gapping down this morning a little bit. So, but don't worry about them. They're doing well, pretty up close to the all-time highs. Nvidia had a decent day yesterday. I noticed it's down, just under 1% this morning. But that could change very quickly when we hit the opening bell. Pick your friend in the semiconductor space, and while they're gapping down, I think they're going to be in play. AMD not looking bad this morning by my estimate. I mean, it's 600,000 shares, which is about average, right, on par for what you expect out of it. And it's gapping down just under 1% right now. So. I'm just hoping we get some movement on these, so it should be good. All right, John, how about you? Anything gapping down that you were keeping a close eye on?
Let's check it out. No, not off the list that's pulling up on the scanner. Looking through my own list, coin was moving nice yesterday. It's not exactly gapped. I mean, it's down 1%. It wouldn't, typically hit our scanner. I know we usually look for 2%, but coin was very interesting yesterday. Had a heck of a day, so that it just could be moving well today. So maybe taking a look at that. What else is down on my list? Everything else is kind of flat. JD's down 6%. Is that true of all the Chinese stuff? Are they all having a bad day? Yeah, Bob is down 4%. JD's down 6%. Baidu's down 2.2%. So. And PDD is down 4%. So it looks like the Chinese stocks are all taking a sizable gap down on a rather flat or greenish day. So
I'm not sure what the markets expect out of the Chinese government, but it does seem as time goes on, like everybody's expecting the Chinese government to announce, more. I'm not sure. I mean, their economy, as I've been stating repeatedly, still not doing that well. They announced all those incentives before the big break, which was a smart move because they got the stocks moving up, but everybody's expecting some massive follow through, it seems like. Now that it's not happening, they're giving back, all the gains that they had made over that period and more. So, I don't know that it was realistic to think that the Chinese government was going to announce even more incentives, and they've got to meter out their good news because again, we are in a faltering economy, I'll say, in China right now. So it's a little bit challenging, I think, for these things to stay high. But pick your poison there. There's some good trading, whether you want to trade JD or PDD or BABA or any one of these. They're all out there and they're available to you if you want to trade them. So you guys look at what you're interested in, and you can take advantage of it. All right. Well, I think, guys, we've got our list. I know that if you're in the chat room this morning, Jared was putting on his professor voice and admonishing us as moderators to say he expects us to have some of these earnings on our lists and not just trade the same old. So I got to be careful not to just watch the same old, or he's going to be mean to me. We got some candidates, right? There are some options out there. I mean, I love them, but there absolutely are options. So I'll make sure that we'll put them on the list. And Maybach was asking a question about PLT. I apologize. I think I saw that. I can't even remember where. I know you asked me that question yesterday about whether I saw a mountain pass early yesterday. Let's do that. We got a second here. Anything that happens really, really early in the morning, I hesitate to call it a mountain pass. And in this case for PLTR, I would say no, I absolutely would not call it a mountain pass strategy. It's one of my signature strategies. But being that the pattern works through the VWAP here, right, that is not enough movement for me to effectively call it. Now, it had the same net effect, right? You could have taken it short on the second spike here when it failed to make a new high of day, and then obviously ridden it short, it looks like, pretty much all day. So while yes, it would have worked, no, I would argue it does not meet my criteria for a mountain pass. And that happens. You can get stuff that works, doesn't mean it meets the criteria necessarily, right? I mean, it's sort of like flipping a coin. You can flip a coin and be right on a stock, doesn't mean that you know what it did or meets the criteria. So, but I understand that you actually had a good trade on it, so nothing wrong with that. But strictly speaking, didn't meet my criteria. And no, Dens, I would not have traded it. I wasn't really paying attention to the market yesterday as it was a holiday and my kids were home. But still, even had I been, I would not have traded that.
Hey, Peter.
All right, but thanks for the question. It's good to know you guys are looking at the strategies.
Just for my sake, what's on your primary list and what's on your secondary, so I can put it up?
All right. So for this morning on my my primary list, I'm going to be looking at NVIDIA and AMD because I always got to look at AMD. I'm also going to be putting UNH because I like what it looks like. Even though it's not trading so far this morning, and I think there might be some downside news. And then on my secondary list will be Goldman Sachs and WBA so far. So there you go.
What's the ticker for Goldman Sachs?
GS. Sorry.
Great.
All right, John, why don't you, it's Tuesday here. We don't got, it feels like a Monday to me because with the holiday in Canada here yesterday, but it is Tuesday, and maybe you can tell us what's happening in our webinar series. I'll answer a question, though, from Chris. Andrew, it's a good question. Andrew said he's going to be back mid this week, so I understand he was in flight from Avi yesterday. He said that he was flying. I don't honestly know if he's back or if he is back, if he'll wake up in time, because he's going to have some serious jet lag, having spent over a month in a very, very different time zone. So that always basically knocks you down. So I had to meter my language there for a second. Anyways, knocks you down. So he may not be up yet, but if he's not here today, he should be here tomorrow. So you'll know when we know, pretty much when he shows up. So All right, John, maybe you can tell us what's happening in the webinar series for tonight.
Yeah, it's Tuesday, so we have our strategy webinar for tonight, and we have one of our community members, Add Zeros. I love this. We don't even have his name, just his screen name. So Add Zeros, which is something we all want to do, is going to be talking key intraday strategies for new traders. So he's going to dive into the dynamic world of intraday trading with a focus on high probability momentum strategies. I like that. That's how I feel like I trade. And in this webinar, he'll briefly cover essential concepts like choosing the right time frame, identifying entry and exit points, and managing risk. So that should be really interesting. Always excited to hear from one of our actual community members. And then next week, we'll have Paris, one of our favorite mods for sure, talking master tape reading, unlocking pro level order flow analysis. Take your trading skills to the next level with this exclusive webinar. Awesome. So everybody loves Paris's tape reading stuff. It's one of our most requested topics. Every trader wants to understand the flow of the market. So that will be a very great webinar as well. And if you'd like to join us here at Bearable Traders, there are many ways to do that. My favorite is that $39 intro. Just join us for a week and check out my favorite part of the entire community, the chat room. It'll get you access to that. It'll also get you access to some basic education stuff as well. But truly nothing more valuable than hanging out in the chat room. It's definitely where I learned to trade the most. So that'll give you access to that for the least amount of money. You can get the same kind of access on a monthly basis for $99, or better deal, bump up to those elite monthly or elite annual memberships. At the moment, elite annual gets you access to live onboarding session, day trading and options courses, the chat room, the advanced courses, all these webinars we talk about. So Add Zeros tonight, Paris next week, the 2 psychology webinars happening tomorrow, all the mentorship sessions on Thursday. The elite membership is how you get access to that. So check it out. Consider joining us.
All right. I see that Add Zeros is in the room and saying hi to everybody, and that he'll see you tonight. So there you go. He's already active and looking forward to it. So that should be good. There's a question earlier about how do you know which market. I was talking about which market things trade on, right? Whether it's the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange, or it could be the American Exchange, a lot of the ETFs. I can only answer for the platform that we use. So this is what a montage window looks like in the DAS platform. But here, if you look at the top right corner, there's an N. Right. In that, if I look at something like Tesla, there's a Q. So N would be for NYSE. Q is for NASDAQ. If you look at an ETF, normally they trade on the American Stock Exchange. So like the SPY or the QQQ, it's got an A. And then you get some weird ones that are like over the counter. I always forget what that is, what the symbol is for that one. But you get weird offerings that trade on those exchanges. Let's see if I can find one here. No, that's a NASDAQ stock, but that's where you find it anyway. It's just that letter that'll tell you which exchange it trades on. So, and the different platforms will do it differently. So just what I'm telling you is only applicable on the DES platform. All right. Okay. We'll set let's do a couple of levels here so we know what levels we're looking at on some of the stocks that we were watching. And we will get you ready for this open, hand it over to our live traders. I'm going to go take a nap. I doubt I'm going to be trading today. I'm really not feeling good. The more I talk, the more congested my head feels and the more my head hurts. So that's usually not a good feeling to go into a trading day. And I'm going to take myself out of the game. I'm basically going to bench myself because I just don't think I'll be able to appropriately pay attention. Now, maybe I'll feel a little bit better later this morning, but this cold or flu or whatever the heck it is really taking me down. And hopefully I've been hitting mute properly and getting off camera because I've been blowing my nose and oh my god, all this stuff in between talking to you guys. So maybe that's it, Dens. I need some scotch. I didn't do enough scotch this weekend, so that's probably what it is. All right, let's take a look here. I'm going to start with NVIDIA. NVIDIA, I've already set some levels here. You can see I've marked the the high that we had back in June, which is sitting here at 140.76. I think that's actually the all-time high. I'm pretty sure of that. So that's already set a high. And then we have the high and low of the previous 2 days, which gives me a good bracket levels around the current price. So I really don't think I need to set too many more levels. You can see it's really congested here because these are my highs and lows of the last 2 days get automatically marked. The high and low of the pre-market are already marked in here, and it's all in this zone. So really, Nvidia's pretty contained here. If it breaks out of this to the top or downside, I'll be ready. You can see I've got another great level of support at 130. I'm not suggesting we'll get to 130 today. I don't know, but I'm ready if we will, because I've got this level I'd already previously set. So that's good and ready to go. We're also talking about some of the stuff that's on our gap list. So let's take a look at those. Charles Schwab, I will move to here. A big move up here. And I love the fact that it's gone up and through these previous areas of where it gapped down. So if it can hold this price, we got potential moves to the upside here. I would mark a level sort of the top end, just above the current price here, just under 75, 74.94 is where I'll put that, because you can see it sort of spiked to the high there. Up above that, I'm going to put a level up here at 76.25 roughly, just because I can see it passed through that a couple of times back in May and then in July of this year. And then to the downside, I'm going to watch, because if it definitely breaks through, well, right now we're sitting right at the cusp of where this thing gapped down. So I'm going to put a level 2, one of them here and one of them here, at 72. I don't even know what level I put. 72.95 and then 72.25. Because if it breaks through those levels, I just want to keep an eye on it, because then it could get all the way down to where this candle was at a high of 70.71. So I want to mark that here at 70.71. So I keep an eye on this. And these levels are really just to remind me of where there might have been a lot of orders trapped, so I can keep an eye and see if we get price support or resistance, depending on which way, right? Support would be if it's hitting it from the top side, resistance if it's hitting it from the bottom up. So we'll see what happens if and when we get to any of those levels on Schwab. Let's take a look at one of the major banks. We'll look at, how about Goldman Sachs? We'll take a look at Goldman Sachs here. It's up high here, and my God, is it at all-time high? I can't believe it's at all-time highs. It must have been higher earlier. Looking at a weekly chart here. Oh my God, maybe it is. Wow. Okay. Looks like we're at all-time highs on Goldman Sachs, which means I got nothing. I got no levels, nothing to indicate what might happen up here. So really all we can do is we can look short-term, and what's happened pre-market, right? The pre-market price is 542, so you want to keep an eye on that. It's above the current price. And just see what happens with this. I mean, we're in the uncharted territory pretty much. So we'll have to see how the price reacts once the market opens and the big money comes to play. How about Citigroup? Same story? No, Citigroup does have an all-time high. Notice how the high of the pre-market, that's what this pink line is on my chart. The high of the pre-market exactly matches with this, what I assume is an all-time high here that we set at 67.81, right? Was the high we set back on July the 17th. I'm going to put another level there just to remind myself of that 67.81. My level ended up at the wrong spot here, so let me make sure I get it to the right spot, 67.81. And then if I go to the intraday chart here, you notice how pretty much within a few pennies, within 4 cents, we got to that level. So I'm really going to keep an eye on that. If we break through that, well, then it looks like we'd be into all-time high territory on Citigroup. If we don't break through that, well, on the daily, look, being that we've been below the highs and lows of the previous 2 days, gives me some levels to the downside that I can keep an eye on. I know you guys are watching Wolf Speed, WOLF. A few people are watching it anyway, so let's see what we can do for levels. Again, they had that big funding, the $1.5 billion in new funding. Definitely, as a semi, they haven't been doing what a lot of the rest of the semis have been doing. They've been on a big downturn, but they're gapping up this morning. I mean, they've certainly been through this price, but never stuck around any of these price levels for very long. To the downside, I can see an area here where at least it bounced. So I'm going to want to put a level here at about $14.28, which is just below the current price, to see if it gets any support, right, if it hits that. If not, it might go right through it and all the way back down to where it started, right at 12. So I'll keep an open mind to that. But Wolfspeed, if I just go back, I'm going back on the daily to see, did it ever have support at this level? And it doesn't look like it really did, right? It opened, it looks like it only opened for trading in early 2020 at around $45. And this is like uncharted new low territory. So not really any good levels here until we get up until the 20s, right? Around $21, $22, maybe. That might be an area, but I mean, that's another $7 higher, which is another 60% over its close yesterday. So I don't think we're going to get that high, but I could be surprised. We'll have to wait and see. Remember, this is a NYSE stock, New York Stock Exchange stock. I can tell by the N in the top corner here, like I was talking about, which means that even if you want to trade it at the open, make sure you watch for that volume. It could happen right at the open. It might not happen for a few minutes, but just be careful about that. That volume can often take it in an unexpected direction. So, 1 second. I need to get off camera here.
Okay.
So sorry about that, everybody. I just didn't want to blow my nose in front of you. I
was wondering what happened to you, Peter.
Oh my God! It was just it was feeling desperate. Okay, so that's Wolfspeed, guys. I'll take one or two here out of the healthcare sector. I said I was going to watch UNH. Again, not trading great so far this morning. I just like where it sits on a daily. Look at this price. We're sitting here at these highs, and we were at the high yesterday, and then we've gapped down here right below where this consolidated price action was. So I'm going to put a level up here at around $550 because I want to watch and see if we recover any of this. I mean, it's down $55 this morning, which is a big move down. Not to say it couldn't go lower, because look where our next level of support is really not until about $525, which is another $15 below, or more than that, $25 below where it's currently trading. So there's a lot of room for movement on UNH, and we'll just have to see where we end up. I noticed that where the current price is, if I go back on the daily, notice we've got this area where it had some support. So it's worth setting a level here at around $546. We can see that it hit that level a few times. So I'll see if it gets any support here from that on UNH. What else? Well, you know what? I'm going to leave time because Andrew is back, guys. I know you were asking. You're eager to see if he's back. He's here, baby. He's alive. And it's still dark out there. Usually we get the beautiful landscape. You can tell it's getting towards winter because now it is dark out the windows there in Vancouver. We'll get Andrew on here in a second. But let's first tell you what our moderators are watching. Maybe, John, if you can take us through that and what our moderators are watching. And then we can give Andrew the mic.
Sure thing. And I just want to say before we go through this, we have 149 likes for the stream this morning. And I want to say, if we can get to 300, I won't come back tomorrow. So you're not liking what you're seeing this morning. What you're liking is bringing Carlos back. So if you guys could pump that up to 300 likes, I'll be gone. I won't bother you tomorrow. Obviously, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I can read from a list that has been typed out before my very face. So Jared's going to be looking at some China stocks, also the Donald J. Trump stock slash FUN or FUN, and United Airlines. So he's going to throw an airline stock in there. Megan likes Coin, Microsoft, and Tesla. Microsoft has been moving nicely, by the way, if you've been watching it. Lenny's got a long list. Apple, NVIDIA, SoFi, Marvel, Charles Schwab, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America. So he's looking at the banks, which seems like he's on his own here on this list with the banks. Thor, Tesla, DJT, Apple, NVIDIA, Eamon, Baba, but he sees it as risky. Myself, I'm looking at NVIDIA, Tesla, and Coin. So Megan and I are both curious about Coin this morning. And does this list extend? It does. So we got Pierre, AMD, NVIDIA, Tesla, Amazon, MSTR, Phil, NVIDIA, Tesla, Apple. Wow, we have a lot of people looking at a lot of stuff this morning. Walmart, Charles Schwab to finish off. Phil, Brian, Apple, NVIDIA, Tesla, AMD, Baba, Paris, NVIDIA, Tesla, Wolf, Apple, Schwab. Andrew's back. He's looking at APL, which probably means Apple, Baba, AMD, and NVIDIA. Apple's also moving nicely, by the way. And by the way, Apple's all-time high, I don't know if Peter mentioned it, is 237.23. We're not far from that. So always an
Yeah.
interesting stock, and any stock is interesting when it gets near its all-time high. And Brendan, to finish it off, is going to be looking at NVIDIA, Tesla, DJT, and AMD.
Excellent. Thank you, John. Thank you, all our moderators, for putting in your lists. We appreciate it. And Andrew, welcome back, man. It's good to see you alive. Presumably safe. All your limbs are attached. No frostbite. Like, can we count the fingers and toes? They're all there. Okay. All right. So that's good.
All good. All good. Thank you so much,
Excellent.
guys. Thank you so much. I am super excited actually to be back. Super exciting because now that they've changed the time too, it's so dark out there. It's so night out there. Like usually when I was in the summer, it was like almost the sunrise and everything. So I'm a little bit jet lagged, so I'm not in the best situation that I have. But thank you so much for the messages and everything. Yeah, it was a really great experience in Tibet. Not the climbing part, but also visiting Tibet was really amazing. So I had a really experience. It was a little bit longer than I expected because there was a big storm in Himalayas that the mountains were closed for 7-8 days, and plus Kathmandu and all everywhere else get heavy rain and stuff. But I survived. So thanks everybody to trading while I was gone. People who were open traders, really amazing. And I'm super excited. Market is making a crazy all-time high. Like it's crazy, unbelievable that you see market is making all-time high like that. So super excited.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I am actually super excited. The next big trip that we had is gonna be. Let me see if this one can zoom in. Is gonna be Colombia with a lot of our traders and mods. That would be super exciting.
Sounds good. Well, I'll leave it off to you. I see Brian's here as well. So trade smart, everybody. Have a great day. Like I said, I'm not feeling hot, so I'm going to take myself out of the game and won't be trading this morning. You guys do that too, right? Don't force yourself to trade if you're not feeling it. I always want you to stay for the long term, which means knowing when you're fit to play and when you're not. So good to have you back, Andrew. Have a great morning.
Thank you so much, guys. And I actually bought the Lamborghini. So if you had any little doubt that I'm an online scammer, now I have a Lamborghini. So I drove it yesterday for the first time because it was delivered when I was gone. So it was really nice. So I am officially a super flashy online scammer. Nobody low bids Lamborghini driver. Picture is coming. Yeah, for the people who are doubting, picture is coming. I make sure that my social media is full of that Lamborghini, so everybody get the memo. MSTR. Brian, I can't hear you.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was just I was looking at something here. Welcome back, and looking forward to trading with you this morning. We've had a lot of different people on. It's all been good. Traded with
So guys, in the chat room, you guys should be able to see my screen. If you're not, make sure to change the challenge so you can see my screen live. Thanks, Brian, for covering the. I know this trip was much longer than expected.
No worries. We had
but I was reading the newsletter and stuff, so you guys are having a really good time.
Yeah, we had some good days, some not so good days, but overall, it's been a pretty decent market to trade in. I mean, market keeps going up. It's the easier market to make money in versus market that's going down. Wow, Nvidia is going to go green, and we're not even at the open yet. Yeah. UNH could be interesting. Peter pointed it out. It could be a decent rising devil. Problem is, its price is the spread can be horrible on it.
Which one?
UNH, United Health. They reported this morning. I guess they. Yeah. the banks reported, BAC, Citi, Goldman Sachs, all put up good numbers.
Yeah, the banks are all gapping up.
Yeah,
I don't think the banks are at all-time high, are they? Did they about 2009? Yeah,
very close. Goldman Sachs is. I think JP Morgan might be.
yeah, Goldman Sachs is at all-time high. I thought that they
Yeah.
didn't recover from 2009 financial crisis, but they did.
Had it, my swing trade OKLO is up quite a bit this morning, so I'm selling some more here. Let's see what else.
Perfect. So let's really wait for me. My trade book is wait for a couple of minutes. I have a really good eye. I honestly I haven't been trading for almost a month and a half, so try to get a good feel of it. But Apple at all-time high, super interesting above the VWAP for breakout. NVIDIA is 140, AMD, Tesla.
Apple's got a big order. Man, let's see what's going on with Apple. It's really gapping up here.
Yeah, super strong Apple.
Yeah. It doesn't want NVIDIA to become the most valuable stock.
All right, so ding, 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 ding.
Here we
Let's see
go.
where the volume is. If Apple stays above the VWAP, would be a good long. AMD is interesting too. Tesla 220. Waiting for some time. Tesla had the robotaxi announcement. It didn't turn out to be good last week. I was watching the news.
It was kind of a disappointment, but it looks like I'm long some Tesla just for a swing trade.
Tesla on the daily chart. Yeah, it's super strong now. Could be an opening range recap. 21.
It's got some orders. Long Tesla. I'm long Tesla now.
That was a 1 minute range breakup. Very nice.
Yeah.
I wait for it a little bit. Let's see. Internet is okay. Platform is okay. Just want to make sure that my system is. Yeah, Tesla 222 is gonna go. Yeah, look at the AMD. It's at S3 now. Super keen to take any trade on it yet. Especially AMD is kind of flat now. It was gapping up or down. NVIDIA might go green. I'm having an eye on NVIDIA.
I'm sure NVIDIA is going to go green.
Yeah, I'm going to go NVIDIA long 138. Let's see if you can get a red to green on it. Risk to reward isn't super great on it, but let's see. Exactly what. Oh, okay, there you go. The sold guys, very big size on NVIDIA now, so partially on that. 138.29, 138.29.
Yeah, I'm just selling. I'm selling some Tesla 220, 222, and 222.40.
Guys, I'm guys long scalping NVIDIA, so I'm getting out 138.31. Let's see. Apple came up, huh? Let's see if Apple. I'm gonna also take a long on Apple 233.46. Stop loss would be below the VWAP. Let's see if Apple can actually make a breakout as well. So I'm long heavy size guys NVIDIA at 138.39. I'm also long Apple at 233.40. Let's see if Apple can go back to 233.4. I kind of like Apple because it's near all-time high. Although NVIDIA should be near all-time high, huh?
Here we go. I'm getting ready to sell some more Tesla here. 223. There we go. 223.
All right. So NVIDIA is coming down to my break-even point. I'm getting a stop out on NVIDIA, guys. I'm all out of NVIDIA. Apple is still long. You can see my screen in the chat room. So NVIDIA came down back to my break-even point. So I got to stop out. So when I partial, I bring my stop loss back to break-even. Still long heavy at Apple. Let's see if it gets this above 2340, I might actually add more on it. Oh, hell yeah. Why not? I'm adding for you live only once. 234, I'm adding on it.
Okay, I'm selling some more Tesla here at 223.60.
Wow, slow ripped. Nice.
Yeah. I think it might, it's at R4 right now. That's why I took some more off right here. Let's see if it can break out through R4.
So I got a big size in Apple now. Let's see if we can get to 234.50, which is the higher pre-market. Would be the first bullish 5-minute opening range breakout. Let's see if we can get the breakouts. As you see, 234.50 is around high of the pre-market on Apple. Guys, I made 1 month of my Lamborghini payment. That's my reward. Oh shit! It's the drop. one Lambo.
I thought it was in Alberta. I thought your car was in
It is
Alberta.
back now. Yeah, it is back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we shipped it there and then it's back. But no, more than anything else, Apple needs to go to 235.50, 234.50.
I added back on Tesla, added back more on that pullback. Now we're going to go, I think we're going to 225.
Yeah, 224, very nice. Guys, let me get that. Fucking NVIDIA came back up. All right, so I'm partially at 250, doodly, an Apple. Come on, don't be choppy, Apple. Go. One more breakout of that. Shit, NVIDIA is super amazing.
Selling some more at 224.18. It was nice. There's a big order at 225 here.
Amazing, like that. NVIDIA, it's got to be. I wish I had a better entry on NVIDIA. All right, Apple guys, I'd like to see you. Guys, I have a big size on Apple. You could take the option calls on Apple as well. Yes. Andrew Aziz still got it. Too much oxygen in the blood, still I can do it. There you go. Big ask at 234.75. Let's broke that one too as well. Boom. There you go. I'm partialing out 234.75. That was a really good trade on it.
AMD is struggling. It's at S6 now, and UNH would have been a good rising devil.
Yeah, AMD. Tesla was a really nice trade, Brian. At 221, you took it.
Yeah.
So I am considering adding some on Apple here back. I'm adding here some back. Let's see if you can. It looks like the 5-minute range breakout that worked out. I'm adding a little bit more on Apple right now. The average is at 234. It's not the best average you can get, but already profitable on that. If you can get a rip on Apple here, I might get some profit, but it's a little bit tricky to enter Apple right now because obviously we are extended from the VWAP. AMD going downward. We can get a breakout 235. All-time high was at 236 to 37, huh? Let's see if we can.
AMD is just getting destroyed here. AMD could be coming down to a level where it might find some support, sort of this 160 area. Wow.
If I was Chamat's something, huh? Yeah, it's up 2.8%. NVIDIA is going up. Apple.
Okay, I just have a small size of Tesla left. It's really struggling at this R4 level. I almost feel like Thor is going to be trading against me here. It's going to be shorting right.
For, yeah, it comes like this.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's get that breakout for Apple at 235. I think it's going to break out, but Apple is also struggling. I don't think Apple is the time that wants to go.
Yeah, it isn't a spot. We haven't yet. They've just been choppy. Thinking about last night, was looking at the levels and
At 235.
after that big move we had yesterday, kind of figured it was going to be an inside day. At least starting out that way. See what happens. There's 235 right there. There's a big order for Apple.
Yeah. Do you see that on the book map as well?
Yeah. It's right there.
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, beautiful.
There it is.
Yeah, guys, selling 235.20. I actually put the screenshots in the chat room as well. This is it, guys. I am done with my life. I paid for my Lambo. All right, guys, YouTube, if you wanted to sign up and you thought that Andrew is not a Lambo enough, I have a Lamborghini now. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. I know I shouldn't say that. These are all joke, man. But no, that was a good trade on Apple. The reason that I really liked Apple was it seemed to me in play like it was gapping up really like 1.5% near all-time high. So that was a really good trade. So you can see my profit and loss here in the chat room. I shared it here for you. Still have a good position of Apple as well. Let's see if we want to go higher as well or not. So you should be able to see, guys, in the chat room my screen. Bouncing back, Tesla with the struggle at R4. So this market still has it, huh?
Still going.
This market doesn't want to go down. It's election also next month.
Yeah, all sorts of geopolitical crap going on in the world.
So I'm not going to add into my position on Apple. NVIDIA was a quick scalp. Would have been really nice, especially if you do it on like Avi. By the way, I was in Dubai. I saw Avi. I went to his trading room. Guys, you have no idea. This Avi is so rich. You have no idea. His house. Let me tell you now. I got to tell you that story. You know how I went to his house. Like this is 50 people. Like he's from Sri Lanka. 50 Indian people say hello, sir, welcome. Hello, sir, welcome. Like it's 50 maids are saying, "Holy shit, where am I going? Which hotel is that? Is that a nice hotel? It's actually Manhattan is a." And we go there. It was like a fucking mansion, dude. There is no way with the scalping options you can have such a house. And then you go in each room, you open the door, so hello, Sahib, yeah, welcome, Sahib, yeah, welcome. So where's Abby? You want to see Abby? Like, it was crazy. Like, this guy is so rich, you have no idea. Is Abby in the chat room or is trading with his mentors? It was such a crazy experience. And I said, oh shit, which prince is going to come out of which rooms? Oh my God. It was so nice. No, they had so many of these luxury cars parked in the parking front. Man, I thought I'm rich. I said Ali and I said, oh, okay, hello, Sahib. Something like that.
Wow.
Oh, guys, Apple. I'm selling some more Apple at 235.
It's crazy. Apple's really extended.
Wow. I think we're going to get to all-time high, 236.23. Apple. I still have 4,000 shares on Apple. Let's see. Could I add more? Actually, I might not actually, since we are We live once.
I think it's
I get
funny.
that.
It's kind of funny how Nvidia wants to be the most expensive stock, and Apple's going like, no way, you're not going,
Yeah.
you're not
Fuck
taking
you
my
think you can
crown.
go.
What did Lenny trade?
Hey
Lenny
guys, and
traded
add
Apple
more to
too.
Apple, guys. My new average is 234.56. I added, yeah, they actually a little bit more because it seems that he wants to go there. Apple might be a good 920 later if the market becomes a trending market.
It's just so extended right now from all the moving averages.
Yeah, but because I added more here, it's gonna be something super interesting. And NVIDIA couldn't make
There is
it.
a big.
It's going down a
There
lot.
you go. Here comes 236. Big order at 236.
Or there's 256. Oh, beautiful move. 236 to 12, that's a level, 26.23. Okay, I'm selling some at 26.24. Let's see. I think we might actually get Apple all-time high. This one's all-time high. All-time high on a daily chart is, so this was the other level at 236.23. This is once 23. Yeah, I think they once all-time high. Maybe not in the next few minutes, but this looks like a trending day for an Apple. It's amazing. Nice, Abiel. Vamos se apolaguando a esse nível. Look nice, Abiel. I didn't understand what you said, but MSTR is coming back up.
Yeah, I don't understand. I'm out of Tesla, by the way, but I don't understand why people are buying Apple. I haven't seen any. Has there been any news on it? All-time high looks like sort of 237-ish, 237. It's getting there. Looks like it wants to go there.
We want all-time high. So who said all-time high? We want it. We want it. We want all-time high. We are addicted to all-time high. Oh, no.
Still going.
Who said all-time high?
I did.
Man, we gotta get Apple. Right, NVIDIA is setting off
It's
too
going.
nice. NVIDIA might be a bounce. NVIDIA might be a bounce at 135.79.
S4 is
Anyone took Apple
135.
with me? Anyone took Apple with me?
I'm long some options right now on it.
Nice area. So Excel is dropping. Engulfing and NVIDIA, Jared. Yeah, NVIDIA is collapsing. Let's take a look at the daily chart. NVIDIA. If NVIDIA started setting off, there's potential bounces on it at maybe R4 or S4, sorry, a 135.28. Maybe could a reversal on it.
Yeah.
So the market is holding up. Apple is so close to all-time high. I think Apple wants all-time high. So let's see if this survives this pullback or not. Salim, buddy, how are you? Thanks. Salim, you messaged me also yesterday. Sorry, I didn't get on time to reply.
Here we go.
Amazing. I think Apple, is going back up to 237 all-time high on the 237 Apple. We might see history again. We want all-time high. 237.19.
Okay, just selling some calls. Just selling some of my calls. They're 230s.
Tesla is coming back up through the VWAP. Tesla might be long if it closes above the VWAP 222. Yeah. I'm getting a long on Tesla 221.97. It's not a bad idea. You can pray to the god of Shoyo.
Which wheel?
Right. So I am long Tesla, guys. Let's see, 221. You can see my screen, guys, by the way, in the chat room. If anyone wants to see exactly the entries and exit, 222. Let's see if you can get to that level,
That's a
223.
nice bounce back.
I know. Andres is. It must be the Lambo.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, guys. I know I shouldn't. 223. Okay, popping up. Tesla, 223.25.
Wow, AMD continues to get routed.
Yeah, today is not a day for semis, huh? Oh, shit, Tesla. Guys, I'm selling out more Tesla. Tesla now is going for the break of high of the day. I might actually add more. It's I got a really nice partial on it, but let's see if we can actually get some more add on that. Yeah, NVIDIA is going down. I'm so glad I got out of NVIDIA.
Yeah. NVIDIA's got a big order at 235.
Doing. I mean, guys, you don't need a lot of tickers. Like you need one or good tickers to make a lot of money at it. I'm actually adding a little more on Apple. Let's see if you can go to break of high, all-time high, 23,675. New average on Apple is 235.83. So I'm kind of in between. I am not selling any more Apple toward the break of all-time high at 237.19. Which is not a great add on it right now. I might actually get a stopped out on it, but I'll happy to take the risk. For Tesla, I think Tesla has a chance to go for the break of high of the day. Let's see. I'm adding a little more on Tesla here, 233.64. Let's see. My new average on Tesla is 222.64. Yeah. Let's see if Apple wants to go, Tesla wants to go for the high of the day. Oh, nice, Brandon. That's what I want to hear. Now imagine, Brandon, you would have take this call option on Tesla. Let me actually post this one on the group. If you would have taken that one for option calls on Tesla, would have been. But you got to be the problem with the options is you got to be a little bit fast. You know, you got to
be fast. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have the option ready and hotkeys and everything ready. The reason, one of the main reasons that I don't trade options is because I just don't have time to go through the chain and do the scalping. So you have to like
TWS is actually pretty good for for trading options.
It is, huh?
You can trade them. Yeah, you can trade them really fast. Wow, Apple, look at this. My calls now, I'm going to sell some more here at
Brian,
750.
You're 10 cents from Apple all-time high. Nobody says anything. Wait. Nobody says anything. We're gonna get the break of all-time high on Apple. That's it didn't happen. Well, actually, it might happen. Tesla doing? Tesla still not break of 5 today. 237.23. Yeah, I have 237.19, Abiel, which is kind of it's not super accurate, but when you go here,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what I
you
have
might,
too, according to Trading Terminal.
yeah. But yeah, it's somewhere around there. Yeah, we're gonna get there. Tesla, hopefully Tesla doesn't stop me out. Tesla popped up, but I didn't push it. Let's see if Tesla can go out as well. 237.22 or 19 or 20, somewhere around that. You might get a good break of all-time high. Watch the history by myself. That's the greatness of financial markets by my
Yeah.
own eyes.
I'm done with my Apple calls. Last sell was 750.
Give one at least. Give one call just to be part of history, Brian.
237. I'm happy with that.
This one, look at the spies making noise. God, you gotta do that.
Yeah.
Qs might go to 500 soon.
Qs look like they're getting ready to move here.
I just want to see the history by my own eyes.
Yeah, I don't understand why what's going on with Apple. There's got to be a reason why people are buying it up to the. I can't.
Down, I think 27.23 is the all-time high that you mentioned. Fuck, Tesla is dropping. Guys, I need to unfortunately get out of my Tesla position. It's now at my break-even. I'm all out of my Tesla position because, my ad kind of messed up my average. So I'm all out of Tesla, but I did make a little bit of decent profit on it. Oh, Qs is popping up. It's running away. What's the
Nvidia's
Bitcoin
trying
doing?
to bounce.
Bitcoin 67,000, huh?
Well, yeah, Bitcoin's breaking out.
Any question, guys, from the chat room, guys? Any question about the trades that we did today? I had a first time. Actually, I was a little bit concerned about trading because I've been so out of touch with the trading world. So I wasn't really sure if I'm going to trade good or not. But so a stop loss on Tesla. Let me bring the Tesla chart so I'm explaining that in the chat room, guys, so you can see my entries and exit. So when I went long first time at 949, so my stop loss was just a little bit below that, around 221.32, because you have to give it room. You can't just give it look at 5 cents because Apple is a $200 stock. You need to have some room for that. And then I add 951 on it for the break of high of the day. I wasn't watching it. Otherwise, I should have actually take some partial here at this pop. For the break of high of the day, I would have partial. But because now that my entry was here and then I added here, my new average became just right around here. That's why I got to stop out at the break-even point. So this is very, very important that not to let a winner goes into a loser. The same exact thing happened on NVIDIA, guys. So let's take a look at my NVIDIA right at a trade. This one was more like a scalp. So as you see, as soon as it popped up, I partialed. And it came down. As soon as it came down back to my break-even point, I got to stop that. I didn't let it pass to my. It came back up eventually, but I was done with this, and I found a much better opportunity to trade with that. Apple still is holding, even though market is struggling. Let's see, still as the Apple can do the all-time high. I'm done with Tesla. I wouldn't take the Tesla again for a momentum trade because already
Tesla's
rejected
pretty
twice.
choppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tesla's pretty choppy right now.
Let's see if Apple, Apple was way much more trending. So, MSTR is the Bitcoin holding, so it's really going up, huh? Yeah, MicroStrategy is going up
Yeah.
really very nice. As Bitcoin is up 4%, as you see, MSTR. I think MicroStrategy is a company that Michael Sayer has it. There's a lot of Bitcoin holding, so it's
Yeah.
the stocks are very
Michael
correlated.
Sayer.
Yeah. So SPY went red, interestingly.
Yeah. Nvidia's back at low of day. Looks like it wants to. It's just going to hit S4 here right now.
MDA is going down. Potential reversals maybe at around S4. I'm not
I
really
think a
100%
potential
sure.
reversal right here. It's definitely going to bounce here. Still a big order at 135. Yeah, just took a long just right off of that S4.
For NVDA?
Yeah. See what it does here.
I'm not sure if I want to take that trade. Personally.
I'm not in it. I'm just actually going to take some off here at 76.
But it didn't hit
135,
S4 yet. You just went long anyways, huh?
Right at S4. Just on that flush. Like I said, I'm going to get out more here. I'm not 100% that it's going to bounce yet. That was definitely the area where it was going to bounce. So, oh wow, UNH is selling off. Yeah, Q's and the SPY having a really choppy day. Not surprising, just because we had a big day yesterday. So this is kind of like I like to call this a hangover day. Big party yesterday. So we get the hangover today.
All right, guys. Andrew here. Let's see. I have not been stopped out on Apple yet. Yes, trying to. Oh, Apple is coming back, Brian. Maybe it's doing your famous 920. Oh, no, not yet.
I'm not. Well, it's bouncing off the 9 EMA.
Group 2 is coming back. Market came back up, huh?
A little bit. SPY did dip into the red there for a brief couple minutes.
Guys, spy. I'm gonna add more Apple here. 236.85. My new average is gonna be 236.11. So almost a 920. So my new average. So I think now this bounce on Apple, we might have a good chance to break the all-time high. I usually shouldn't take that trade, but I think I want to be part of history because now that Apple has a good chance to break the all-time high. Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go. It's gonna
Here
go.
it is.
Mark the date, October 15, 2024. The biggest company in the world is becoming bigger. Yes! Partialing out, guys. I'm partialing. I have slowly getting out. Jared, are you in this with me? Lenny, are you in this with me? Yes. Good old days back up, guys. Crypto billionaires and millionaires. It's like 2021 again. Amazing, guys. I miss trading so much. I miss trading behind my station, actually. It was just, you have confidence around watching around the market and everything. I really did miss. Not for the money, it's just for, gotta be passionate about trading. It's very important. Like, I gotta wake up and say, oh, I want to see what the market is doing. For me, the life is like the Wall Street time. Like, from whenever I'm, for example, traveling and the financial markets are open, I'm looking at my iPhone, so, financial markets, things are going on. And then when the financial markets open, it's, okay, relax. Like, I love to see the financial markets. And it's very important. The passion part is also very important. A lot of people are asking me, again, there's a lot of work for like $300, $400 a day. I don't want to do that. Look, I agree with you. Don't do it. Focus on that, on the other business. And so, but you got to be passionate. It's, when I like to play video game, like, that when I was in high school and stuff. So it has to be like a passion for you to enjoy finding and solving these puzzles. So yeah, I partialed out, guys, very much on Apple. It was such a great trade for me.
Yeah, all I can find here on Apple is it introduces a new iPad mini built for Apple Intelligence. It's a news release.
16, like I want to buy. Should I buy the 16 or no? I know the 16 has the better chips for AI processing, but I don't think has that much added value. I might actually go and buy
I
a
think
new
if
16
you've
today.
got the 15, if you have the 15 Pro, I think the new AI stuff will still work with it.
Yeah, I was reading
It's
on Bloomberg about it. That one of the biggest upgrade of the 16 is that they try to bring advanced chip processing into the iPhone. So, your AI would be faster on the phone instead of on the cloud, because a lot of now processing of the AI is happening on the cloud side on NVIDIA chips and stuff. But they said one of the things that was a little bit too early. Might not, AI is really not ready that much for that.
right.
I usually change my phone every year, so I don't know if maybe today I go and check it out.
Well, I mean, how fast does it need to be? I mean, I use Perplexity for AI questions and stuff, and I mean it returns a response in less than a second. So
Yeah, you're right. So Ivan, the agent in YouTube, says, I didn't find Andrew helpful. Thor and Brian explained it better. Brian, yeah. What do you have? I don't have anything to say in defense. I mean, here's the thing about trading live at the open is you can't expect someone to trade all the time. They have different strategies, and this is what I love about our community is that we have 17 different strategies that people are trading, and then we have these short videos on the essential one that you can watch. And that's the beauty of the financial market, because there's no two other people are trading exactly the same. I'm a momentum
No.
trader. I don't use the pivot points that much and everything. So it has to be really, and that's what we want to show that. And if it's distracting to you, the chat room, it doesn't insult me at all, not even for a second, if you actually mute or don't listen to the chat room live or just use the community or different elements of the community. So you have to really see what works for you. So because we want to grow the community and especially our YouTube channel, I was watching a lot of these other live like Trader TV, Benzinga, and other people to see what these guys are doing. What I found is, a lot of these live YouTubes, they're just noise, adding noise. Like I was watching Trader TV live for 2 hours, I really got headache. And at the end of the day, I realized that, okay, it's really not that helpful for me. You're just using that psychological element of move to attract people, but are you really adding that value? And I was watching our own YouTube live back when I was in China, and I was really, it was Brian and Thor, and I was really trying to, I'm really falling asleep. But I noticed that we are live traders, real traders. We are not showmen. Like Brian is actually trading options, or Thor is trading, real trades. You can't really perform. They're not anchorman. A lot of other channels, they just have hire showman to just fill the content for you all the time rather than trade. So you got to see
Nice
what
one,
channel
Jared.
you're going for, what reason.
Yeah, nice trade, Jared. I was watching that 135 level. There was a big order, big ask order there. Big bid, I should say. On NVIDIA.
MSTR. Oh, MSTR bounce back. Is the Bitcoin bounce back too? No. So MSTR is a holding like MicroStrategy. I remember that back in time, it was really a lot of holding on Bitcoin was on there. Yeah, it doesn't seem like today. Yeah, I had a massive run in the last couple of days.
It's no bottom for NVIDIA yet.
Francesco, try to change your DAS code server. You can actually change the code server back to another one. Sometimes it happens.
It's going to 134 now. Wow.
NVIDIA is going down, huh? Downhill.
Yeah, NVIDIA keeps dropping here.
Tesla, Shadow. Yeah, Tesla. I mean, I'm not really into Tesla anymore. Like it seems that in a 5 minute has gone up into a very range bound trade. I don't know if I'm gonna go long. There was one good breakout where we took on it at the 949, but I think Tesla has gone into a range bound for now. Let's see what the market is doing. If the market sells off, Tesla is gonna sell off. If the market is gonna ramp.
Yeah, I think Tesla's getting too choppy.
Yeah, Brian, as you said, Tesla is too choppy, but NVIDIA, I think there is a potential trade on it at around 133.60 for a reversal. Now, NVIDIA, I don't want to, can be a short all the way to a reversal. Let's see. It's now setting off 131.60 might be something. There is potential for NVIDIA reversal. Maybe not now. What am I doing with Apple? I think I'm going to get a stop out on Apple, huh? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Qs are selling off. SPY's selling off a bit. Well, AMD back to low of day.
All right, so I'm going to get a stop out on guys on Apple completely. I'm all out of Apple, so I had a really nice run on it. Obviously, the last piece you're leaving it for the break-even point. Now that the market is selling off, potential reversal in NVIDIA. What's AMD doing? AMD level at 158.18. WM is going up.
Yeah, IWM is the only index that's actually green right now.
Yeah, I'm all flat, guys. Pretty good P&L today. I don't know if Brent, you can show it or not, but it turned out to be a decent trading day for me.
Yep, you're up.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah. So it turned out to be a pretty good day. So as you see, I still have the VO position and VCLT, which is the fixed income bonds. Yeah, it turned out to be a pretty okay day. With the Apple, thanks to Apple, as you see, most of my profit were in Apple. Pretty nice.
Yeah, the TLT is finally green on the day. It's been red, 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 like just constantly as the yields have been going back up, especially on the long
Yeah,
bonds.
TLT has been down like 5-6% in the last 2 weeks, huh?
Yeah, yeah. The interest rates on the long end have really started to creep back up here. I think the bond market is pretty concerned about more inflation coming in again. Some of the policies that both parties are talking about.
NVIDIA, I think the next trade that I might actually seriously consider. Well, let's see what Paris did. Paris did a very nice short on NVIDIA. Very, very nice short, Paris. That's exactly the time that I got a stopped out on it for the breakout. And amazing short on it, Paris. Paris, I'm surprised that you didn't add back at that 136. Usually, what Paris does is really good at adding on these pullbacks. Look, I'm sharing my screen now, the Paris trade. Paris is also a very nice trade on this order flow. I'm actually super amazed that Paris didn't add this here. I'd like to hear why he didn't add that. Oh, he didn't pull back enough? Like, well, how much did you want it? This is usually usually you do add in these moving averages, don't you?
Wow. NVIDIA's going to 133.
Reversal on NVIDIA eventually. That is a very nice trade, but Paris is really nice. Paris has this. Paris' style of trading is completely different from Brian and I. He's looking at the order flow, and it's pretty amazing. Miss trading with you, Paris. I know you've been going through some family difficulties, and you were taking off some. That's another thing, is that sometimes when you are mentally or not ready, you should stay away from trading, because this is the most dangerous thing that you can do. You know, if you're, for example, busy at work, family problems, health, or something like that, you should stay away from it, because this is the time that you have perfect condition mentally and physically to trade, because this is probably the most dangerous thing. It's like drunk driving. You shouldn't do that, you know. When you're driving, that's where you have to be most careful, most compassionate, and most attentive.
Yeah, just like Peter recognizing he's not feeling well today, so he's just
Oh, I
taking it
love
easy.
that. Yes, exactly. This I actually really love. I didn't know exactly why, and then when I realized that he's doing that, this is amazing, because you are one click away from blowing up a lot of profit. So this is super
Yeah.
important not to
Wow.
mess around.
There's your break of 133. Yeah. Now
I
we're
know.
into now we're below S6 on NVIDIA.
I'm trying to find a level to take a reversal on it, but I haven't found any yet.
Right? Could be here. It's really getting extended.
Good for shorts, huh?
It's just catching that knife. Now there's a lot of orders to the downside still. 132, 131, 130.
Brent,
Doesn't
they're asking
necessarily
how's the
mean
book
it's
map?
Sorry, what was the question?
What's the book map says on NVDA?
Well, like I said, there's levels. There's still orders to the downside: 132, 131. Big order at 130. Man, every little bounce is getting sold right now. It's right at S6.
I'm trying to see where do I get the bounce on it. I think it's kind of in middle of an over yet. What about 131.29, Ryan? 132. That looks like the level here. With John at 130,
Yeah,
huh?
131. 131. 131.60.
Evening sunrise. Shit, it's getting later and later on. Now it's very beautiful sunrise.
Yeah, 131.50. Still dropping back again. See if it holds here.
Breaking down.
Yeah,
NVDA.
Qs are at low of day.
Yeah, NVIDIA is still weak. Thinking of
Wow, look at it.
reversal.
AMD is
Yeah.
still dropping too.
Same as AMD. Let me see that. Yeah, 4% down. NVIDIA is down 4%. So 132. I might take a reversal on it. We have 10 more minutes for the live trading on YouTube, but I am thinking of potentially. Let's see. We need some sort of right now we are in no man's land on a daily chart. It looks like that the bottoming action is starting. Ready yet to take full deploy yet. Could be a good call options here. Maybe we can actually buy some NVIDIA calls at 132.50 if the setup is ready. Maybe in the first new 5-minute high. Because I think we are getting it.
Just scalp some back through 133. Yeah, I like that the dojis we just threw on the 2-minute chart. Right now, I'm out of it, but that was just a quick scalp.
It seems that it's getting bottomy.
It seems like it.
It seems like getting bottoming. Netflix, somebody, Amit is asking about Netflix. Let's take a look at Netflix. Netflix doesn't seem to have any action per day and an all-time high. Yeah, Netflix doesn't seem to have much of a action for day trading. Apple broke the all-time high. I'm so proud of Apple trade that we did. So in 5 minutes, Phil is coming to have a presentation for live. We're going to switch to Phil. He's going to have a presentation about the consolidation zone breaks on different time frames. So, which is a very, very important topic for a different time frame, like multiple time frame. I use 1 minute, 5 minute, and daily, but a lot of other traders, including Avi, Phil, Ayman, they're all using 15-minute and 30 minutes sharp, and then they found this consolidation breakout zones based on the multiple time frame. And Phil is going to have that conversation live on YouTube. So from we switch over there if anyone wants to learn from Phil. And Phil is also coming to Colombia as well. So if anyone wants to learn about how he's day trading options based on that, That's a good environment to hang out with. So this is what we try to do. Like at right around this time, around 10:30, toward the midday, there is not really much going on, and try to focus on the education part from now on. Like maybe there is this NVDA trade that possibly come, make a double bottom or something like that. But generally, most of the really good actions happens either at the morning or in the late in the afternoon. So when it gets into the middle of the day, you got to be really careful that you're getting into the time of the bar that you really shouldn't drink, and you should start planning leaving rather than just order another shot. So no, seriously, this is very, very important.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree.
self-awareness, so it's super important. Look, right now we're here just because we are here, and then we don't have nothing else to do. I'm a full-time trader, but a lot of time, like when I started trading, like 7:24, you're done. You go kiss your wife, get the breakfast, put the suit on, go back to 9 to 5 job. Like that's what I was doing until 2019. People don't believe that. Until 2019, I was doing that. You don't need to sit down and watch. A lot of them say, no, I need a screen time. I need to have the screen time to become a better trader. Yeah, but you need quality screen time. You don't need just any screen time. Just watching this choppiness of Tesla, looking at it, you don't become a trader. You become actually a worse trader. So I highly recommend for people to have this, and that's what I love about the stock market, because it's so structured. Like from 9:30 to 10:30. When the NYSE said, "Oh, we want to open 24 hours trading," I said, "Oh fuck it's gonna become like crypto. You'd never know when the volatility comes and stuff." So that hasn't happened yet. So the structure in your daily, it's super important because you want the consistency. Like I'm sure Avi right now in Dubai must be like 6:30 now. Avi is probably playing with his children right now. I don't think he might not really trading right now at this moment. So structure is super important in life. And for any successful career or business, not only, if you have a restaurant, you have to open up at certain time, you have to close at certain time. You can't just have it do whatever you feel for it, or whatever you feel like market is offering. No, you have to have that structure. Super important. And that's the way to success. The other people might say something else to you, but we are people who trade life for you in front of you that way, and then you can see it yourself. People followed me from being a stupid trader who does a blog back in 2014-15 to someone who made millions of dollars, who lost millions of dollars, who have a Lamborghini now, and I might lose this Lamborghini and do an Uber after that. You never know. Like this is a journey that I want everybody to really see live, and it's all on YouTube, and you can actually take a look at it as well. But the whole point of my success, I think, is that I have a structure. After I finish my time, I am actually walking away. I either go to bed or go back to work or go to the office or do so, or go for a run in Stanley Park. It's super important not to expose yourself to this gambling environment. So for me, first $1 million was 2020. Obviously, for pandemic was the first $1 million time. And for us, the volatility that the pandemic came, it's just unbelievable and crazy, and that's super important. And again, don't get fooled by how much I made and how much I lost and other people made. Percentage-wise, you have to look at it. When we put the funded account, I was amazed to see the result. Actually terrified. That's so many people who signed up for this $50,000 account and blew it up in 3 days. Terrified. Like what the fuck do you do in the financial market? You are not supposed to have an account. No, seriously, and I'm trying to say that
Yeah.
people, if you cannot pass this funded account, you have no justification to open a live account. Get the hell out of it. I want people to come and do this and then kick them out of the financial market. This is not a joke. Like the way that some people trade, it's just terrifying. And I'm thinking that if it wasn't for this funded trading account, this guy would have blown up his family life. These are hard-earned work money. No matter how rich you are, you can't trade like that. That's why I want everybody who comes to our community, if you're new, trade on a simulator, take our courses, go this funded account one time. If you couldn't do it, do not open an account with Interactive Brokers and CMEC. Do it again another time. If you couldn't do it, do not open an account. Third time, just leave, please. Don't do it. Put your money on VOO like I did. Brent, put this one on. Put your money in there and enjoy grows over time. Like just be patient
Yeah.
over time. That's what you do. You have no business messing around with the financial market. This is the most dangerous. This is the most dangerous war is happening in the world right now. More than Israel, more than Ukraine, more than Russia. This is the most dangerous place in the world. More than the Middle East, anywhere. Seriously, if you pass the funded account, then maybe you have a chance. Because even the funded account is not 100% environment because you pay $1,000 for it, but you can lose $9,000 on it. But still is the element of leverage in there. But if you can't even pass the funded account, get the fuck out of this chat room and community and go build your life. I really, really want less people here because this is dangerous. I've seen it. I go to meetups everywhere. I was in Dubai and I see people. You have no business opening up a live account. Do not get fooled by this things that the people share or the lifestyle that the people. Anyways, so enough of the ramp, but I'm seriously, I need to take it easy. Yeah, you're right. Boy, let's get the reversal on NVIDIA at 130. It's now breaking below 132. I'm going to actually
Yeah,
do that.
it just broke. It just broke down again.
Let's see. I'm going to
On the
actually,
cues.
I have this level
Wow.
130, 138. I'm going to actually get the reversal on that.
Yeah, watch the cues at 494. There's we're heading lower on the cues as well. AMD dropping. Wow.
Cues are going to S4 at 494. I have these levels 130, 140 and NVIDIA. The bearish thesis inside. I might actually take a reversal at 130, 150 on it. Okay, so guys on YouTube, thank you so much. We are handed over to Bill. Brian, come back to the chat room, main chat room. And thanks, guys, for watching. But Phil has really good information in there. We switch over there. We might come back to the YouTube live.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everybody on YouTube for joining us. Remember, you can come in and join us for $1. Take care, everybody. Hope you had a good morning.
Okay, Phil, you're ready to go.
Hey. Yeah, Brent, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, I figured out the headphone situation this time. So
that's the thing.
Yeah, well, hey.
Without headphones, yeah, we can hear everything. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Good deal. All right, guys. Well, hey, it's awesome to be back, and it's good to see Andrew back from his journeys. Glad everything went well in Tibet. Can't wait to hear more about that during the Columbia meetup. I'm here today just to kind of briefly discuss a huge topic when it comes to trading for me personally, which is consolidation zone breaks on different time frames. So, I have a bunch of examples to show here, on my screen. So I'll be screen sharing with you. But this is a huge topic because, as part of my trading with options and, small account, I'm looking for days where, you have the highest probability of, a large move in a certain direction. I trade options with a very tight stop. And, I'm utilizing Camarilla pivot points and these trend line and consolidation zone breaks to, get a big move, and have the highest probability of nailing the entry on it. So, I just want to go through some pictures here that I've taken. A lot of them are from, just recent days. There's been a lot of good examples, but I have pulled a few from the past as well. And a lot of these are going to be actual, trades I took. So I'm going to toggle to my screen here. And, I first want to just take a look at what Apple is doing right now. So, we are on, this is a daily chart on Apple. And, pardon me for not removing the Camarilla pivot points that kind of make this a little jumbled, but I actually kind of want folks to see these as well as we go through these. So Apple, as you can see, had a strong push up starting end of April last year, and at around mid July, it put in a lot of volume and started to just sort of chop. So you can find these ranges like this on every time frame, and I want to show you with this one, starting with Apple, that you can even on the longest time frames these exist, and you can zoom out on or zoom in on these all the way down to the 1 minute chart. So with Apple, what we're looking at, and you can see I use these blue lines on my charts to draw trend lines. So what you can see is I have connected a trend line on Apple, and I've been watching this breakout occur over just the last 2 days. You can see. And, but there's also a bottom trend line here. So if Apple had actually gotten down to this daily S4 level, I would have been, looking at a potential short on Apple. But, given the strength we've seen in the markets and just the way this shaped up with Apple consolidating, kind of surfing these daily trend lines here, you've got the 9, the 20, the 50-day here. I've got the 200 down here as well. It was showing strength, and that obviously comes with the markets making that push up too. So what I'm looking for on this is, and I'm going to zoom in on this chart in just a second, but I am looking at what is occurring right around these trend lines. Consolidation zones, they can be shaped like wedges, like this one. They have different shapes they actually can be. It's just basically sideways action on a stock, and you're looking for a break of an area where in this case, bulls potentially appear to be winning this battle against the bears. And when the bears start to really, think that's occurring, they have to exit their positions in this situation, which causes, Apple to squeeze and potentially seek value at a, higher level. And that's kind of what we're seeing happen right now with Apple getting to all-time highs today. So let's zoom in on this chart. So I want to show you the, the different time frame nature of this. So this is Apple over the last couple of days on the 30-minute chart, and hope you guys can see that there. So this, things get a little messed up, when you zoom in here, but just look at this as that longer term trend line that I had on the daily. And now look what Apple did. So over the last few days, Apple broke that trend line, but didn't break out right away. We, there was this consolidation zone, AKA, sideways action. It's a good way to think of it. And, Apple kind of chopped for a few days until yesterday, really. So I was watching it yesterday, and you can imagine, a trend line here, if you were looking sort of for like the early breakout signs, it did yesterday push above R4 as it was exiting, this trend line that it had set over the previous day. So there was a sign there. I unfortunately missed it yesterday, and I missed it today. So I'm not super proud of that, but man, you really have to be right on it. Yesterday, I was trading another stock, and when I look back at Apple, within 4 or 5 minutes, it had already taken off, and I had missed my entry. And sort of same thing today. So, but anyways, you can see that as Apple, pushes outside of this range, we start to see quite a bit of volume coming in. And, it's just generally an area where, bears are saying, oops, I better get out of my position here. And of course, they have to do that by buying. And as bulls are jumping in, saying, oh, I think this is going up, I'm going to buy, that's what helps push stock price to, a different level. And in this case, where, who knows where this might end. So now I want to zoom in a little bit more to my trade yesterday, which actually caused me to miss the first day of Apple's breakout. And that was this trade on MSTR. So right now, we're looking at a 2-minute chart of MSTR. And I want to show you again, what do we see here? So MSTR had gapped way up in the pre-market yesterday. So I was actually looking for, my bias on it was, for some profit taking to occur at the beginning of the day. So I saw this very tight range that it was putting in the pre-market. And, as you can see, this range has a general bottom area and a general top area. And so what I was thinking, because of the huge gap up, was I was actually looking for selling to come in on this if it did, if it could not break this R4 Camarilla pivot level. This was not a trade that I was going to hold for a very long time. However, MSTR did end up selling off had a huge sell-off day yesterday. But I got out at a little over my general 4-to-1, profit. So, I risk about $60 per trade. So I ended up getting out at about $260 profit on this trade. I find that structuring, get the all out at about 4-to-1 really is, it stacks the odds in your favor long-term for profitable trading. But I just want to show you again here what I was looking at yesterday. So, so I saw this tight range and it was right around and under the R4 cam. So, this could have gone the other way. However, I was looking at Bookmap, which is a software that you can get pretty cheap through a basically free TD Ameritrade these days. But what I'm seeing on Bookmap was large orders to the downside. It was quite obvious. So I had all of my focus on MSTR at the open yesterday for it to fail at the R4 level, which you can see it did exactly. And as it pushed down with a lot of selling volume, you can see quite a bit of volume there compared to previous days. And, as it pushed down with selling volume through the VWAP, I actually went short right at about the bottom of this level. Now, sometimes, you want to actually wait. You don't want to get in right away. This is something that, I wrestle with at times, because sometimes these breakouts just occur and they just go and there's no retest of the bottom or the top of the consolidation zone. This, a lot of times you want to wait for that retest. And I would probably say that is the most responsible way to trade these. Yesterday, I was expecting sort of just a short, violent profit taking, selling push. And so I actually jumped in and, that is basically what happened. It continued to push down. I ended up partialing one or two of my contracts here at the pre-market low. And, did get the push down here. And again, I was guided mostly by where the large orders were below price on Bookmap. So that's a key figure. A lot of this is, a lot of trading is putting together different clues. The more clues you can put together, the better chances you have of a trade going in your favor. So, the clues here were on the daily chart, this was gapped up significantly. So that had me, that it was right around the monthly R5 level as well, a significant level, which I have marked here by this black dotted line. So I was expecting profit taking. I saw this tight range. I saw the R4 cam. And then I saw the orders below, the big orders below price on Bookmap. And all of those clues combined had me looking for a short entry on this trade as we approach the bottom of this consolidation level. And again, I did not hold this outside of my 4-to-1. Had I held it all day, I, could have made significantly more. I mean, I think I bought the puts that I was holding here at about $180 each or so. By the end of the day, they each were $780. So, but that's my style of trading, is not, holding for that absolute grand slam. I like just the 4-to-1. That's what I found will just produce, consistently profitable trading for me over time. So there you go. That was my trade yesterday on MSTR. On the 2-minute chart, we've looked at the daily chart with Apple so far, looked at, Apple on the 15-minute, that consolidation zone break. Now let's take a look at a trade that I had just a few days ago as well on Tesla. So same thing again here. Tesla for a number of days was chopping sideways, was putting in a wedge-shaped pattern. And, I was looking at Tesla this morning. It was the morning of the 10th. So, 5 days ago. And, I was looking at this because it was, we were getting towards the end of this wedge-shaped pattern. And again, anything could have happened here. Tesla could have broken out to the upside, but it was the other clues that had me keyed in for a short entry here on Tesla. And primarily those clues were large orders to the downside on Bookmap. I think Tesla had huge, orders, buyers waiting down here for price to get to them. And so, I was looking at Tesla in the morning. Wish I had like a 1-minute chart of this. Let's see. Maybe I do. Give me 1 second, guys. It was the 10th. All right. Tesla. I've got the option. Tesla 1 minute. So let's take a look. All right. So here we go. So, again, those trend lines get a little bit skewed, but I just want to show you what I was looking at. Again, the biggest clue was the large downside orders. So selling did come in on Tesla at the beginning of the day, and I believe I took it short as, Tesla attempted to push back up and then just showed a lot of selling coming in here around pre-market low, which I have as this pink line here. And, then there was just quite a bit of selling on the tape and those downside orders. So, I tentatively, I entered here and then held, almost got stopped out, as price messed around here. But luckily it never squeezed back up. This entry, again, it was based more on the break of that trend line, the bottom of that consolidation zone. But we were going into S3. So, I actually did, now I'm remembering, I did actually move my stop to break even pretty quickly, expecting maybe a push off of S3 on Tesla, which we got. And, had I just kept my stop at a 1 hour loss, I would have totally stayed in this trade. But I did just get stopped out at break even around here as, Tesla did bounce a bit off of S3. However, I did see just a couple minutes later, I did see a lot of selling come in right around here. So I did take another short entry, got the initial push. I liked that a bunch of volume came in as it broke S3. That's where you would expect sellers to potentially defend the price, or buyers rather, to defend, this push down. There was not a lot, and the tape, did show quite a bit of selling. And again, I had, those lower order tiers on Bookmap to look at. It did shop around a bit. I did not get stopped out as, price came back up and it retested VWAP from the underside. And then, we did get that huge bout of selling that came in. So, the way that looked on, you can see what that looked like on the 60-minute, which I'm going back to right now. And so that was, basically what happened in this situation was, there were a bunch of orders below, and, buyers just said, what, I don't like the way this is looking. Anyone who had been buying here, here in previous days, they were now, looking at, their position was now in the red. And as they exited by selling their trades, more shorts came in, myself included, and we got this beautiful push down on Tesla. We lost S3, lost S4, and I actually went all out of my position right around S6 because, again, I'm not holding, I'm not telling myself, oh, this is going to, be an all day thing. I'm just looking to get out at about a 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio on the trade. I got, more than that on this trade here. And I was happy with that. And, this was a great spot to get out because Tesla actually bounced from this level and I believe worked up for the rest of the day. So it had a big recovery from this area as it found buyers down here. So yeah, that was Tesla from the other day. Just want to show you a couple more of these things because it is a big deal. Looking for consolidation zone breaks it's just a primary part of my trading because of what I've explained is actually happening in the markets between buyers and sellers at those moments. So let's take a look at AMD. So this is AMD from a while ago. I'm not, the exact date is, this is way back in January, but I just want to show you again, this is a different time frame. Now we're looking at the 15-minute chart on AMD. So, what we have here is sideways action again on AMD. I have drawn this trend line, the blue trend line here. And, what you see occurring on this day is, in the pre-market, AMD breaks this trend line. I'm sure, it had increased volume going into this day. And, we get this break of the R4 cam here. It chops around just a bit, tests it, it defends R4, and then look what happens. So, this is a scenario where just all of these buyers, or all of the buyers in this area end up being right here. I do air quotes, right. And, sellers kind of see the writing on the wall. And, so as we get this big break of R4, buyers are coming in, sellers are exiting, and that's what gives you this huge squeeze out. That's just another, consolidation zone break. So, they happen on every time frame. If they happen on a larger time frame, for example, like we'll go back to Apple here, you can potentially expect, a significant move up from here as Apple, is looking for, a new value area. You never quite know what's going to happen in the markets at any given moment, but, these things do play out pretty consistently. Now, I've been talking a lot about Bookmap and, seeing the orders, on the book in the market. So I just want to show you what Apple looked like this morning and why it's even more heartbreaking that, that I missed this trade. I did take an entry, but it was not on the retest of R4. I should have waited just another 30 seconds or so, but I really, based on all of the other clues, I was expecting a huge move out of Apple. But again, so my entry was just a little bit hasty, and it made me miss out on a pretty great trade. So this is what Apple's Bookmap looked like this morning. And you can sort of forget all of this here because when I was looking at it, it was right around the open. So none of this had happened yet, but Apple just had these huge orders stacked above price. So that was clue number one to be looking for Apple long potentially at this level. Another clue on Apple this morning was that it was opening above R4 on the intraday cams, and it did sell down. It did dip below R4 just a bit, but you can see pretty low volume down here on that sell down. But then it came right back up. It ripped through R4. And, that was when I was looking at it for an entry. Unfortunately, I went long on it on the, on the top side of that initial candle's push. It did go ahead and retest R4 basically to the penny. And then it just took off. And, look at what it did. Volume came in. All of these green dots represent market orders market buy orders coming in. So you could just see people were just buying Apple today. And, we looked at what it looked like on the daily chart. We've looked at what it looked like on the 30-minute chart. It was just rocking and rolling. Let's look at that 30-minute chart again. So yeah. So, as you can see, just consolidation zone, break of the consolidation zone, and then just a, real huge squeeze, with those, and all of those orders were stacked above as a clue that that's where we were going. So what else? I wanted to show, there was one more example. This was Tesla a while ago. So, as you can see, again, it's a little squashed, but, this was Tesla way back in February 5th of this year. And I really like this graphic because it shows the ideal scenario with where the intraday camellias actually line up exactly with, what are these trend lines on, representing the bottom, in this case, of a consolidation zone break. So as you can see, same story, right? Tesla was consolidating for a few days. I drew these trend lines. It was basically in a wedge-shaped pattern. And, this morning, again, I'm sure on Bookmap, I saw large orders to the downside. And, Tesla was pretty quickly after the open, it was playing around with this trend line, with the bottom of this zone here. And that happened to be right where not only VWAP was, which it tested and, did not break through, showed weakness there, but also daily S4. So S4 is where, if you break down from there with volume, that's an indication that price, at least, for a short period of time, sometimes all day, but, in this case, it was a short period of time, is going to look for additional value elsewhere. So, what happened here was I was watching right as Tesla was around S4. It showed weakness at VWAP. There were those, Bookmap orders to the downside. And, right here where we got this strong push down through S4, this black line is a previous day level. So this is previous day's low, as you can see here. So all of these things add up to kind of trigger in your mind, it's Paris likes to use the term, it's a grab you by the face moment. And this is exactly, what you can get by just adding all these clues up, and in most cases, I like to ride this type of thing from S4 down to S6. As you can see, in a lot of cases, you actually, go significantly outside of the, 6th level cam. I probably partialed at a 4-to-1 here. That's what I typically do. But again, it just happens every day, day in and day out. So I want to show one last example here of this was SPY just the other day on the 4th. So, I was watching SPY. SPY was gapped way up this morning, and it was, chopping around the R6 intraday cam level, which is sort of, which is potentially extended. That's where you would see sellers coming in most cases. So, SPY opened, it was chopping around R6. I, was able to draw again my little blue trend lines indicating a range. And, what I was seeing during this was that, higher volume was coming in as it was selling versus when it was buying at this level. So if it was going to break out from here, you would want to see, higher volume coming in on buys rather than sells. So, I was patient on this one. I, was watching it, let it settle underneath R6. And right here, as I saw this, big break, very low volume candle here, right around as it was trying to, again, for the third time, push through R6, but really low volume, indicating a lack of, serious buyers. And, then we started to see volume coming in a bit as price not only pushed down from R6, but also broke this trend line. So, I believe on this one, I took my short entry here, on this retest of this was the, I'm not sure. So retest of these moving averages, and then boom, we just got this huge push down. SPY lost VWAP, and we got a push down to R4. I think SPY ended up selling off the rest of this day as well, but didn't matter. I got my 4-to-1, and I was out. So yeah, guys, I hope that gives you a clue as to what I'm looking at here as I'm looking at these consolidation zone breaks. And again, you can find them on any time frame. And the cam levels are also huge clues. Bookmap is a huge clue. But thanks for tuning in, and hope this helps. Back to you, Brent.